blood of the child is pure now. In death, it gives you life. The cycle is complete.
Yeah, we're planning on doing the Mission Impossible 3 here. We will be getting that out later next week. Sadly, in Hollywood news, we just found out, obviously, that William Friedkin has passed away. One of the best directors of the 70s, if not the best director of the 70s. You hear about Coppola and Lucas and Spielberg, but I think it's Friedkin who just was more of a balls-to-the-wall kind of director. Didn't take shit from people, and certainly didn't take shit from his actors. They're paying to do a job. He'll damn well make sure that they do it.
Hurricane Billy, he was known as.
Yeah, whether you slap the priest or you fire the gun off on the set, whatever reaction you need from your actors, you'll make sure you'll get it.
Apparently, Jason Miller squared up to him and offered him a fight on the set of The Exorcist.
Yeah, I wouldn't put it past it.
Yeah.
But William Friedkin, we talked to him a couple times, obviously with The Exorcist and The French Connection, and then he did like Sorcerer and To Live and Die in L.A. Those are the ones I know him for. Like most directors from the 70s and 80s, they kind of veered away in the 90s. You can say the same thing, sadly, about Carpenter. You can say the same thing about De Palma. You can say the same, they as the 2000s hits, at least, they kind of faded. Did a couple of independents here and there, but nothing like the spark they had in the 70s and their 80s and the earlier of their careers. So we're going to tackle a couple of films by him. The first one is going to be a film that no one realized he did. Maybe that's a good thing or not. We'll talk about it. And then we will end this little retrospective next week with To Live and Die in L.A., which is, I remember it being ballsy, and I remember it doing something different that you didn't see in Hollywood with its leading man. And we'll certainly talk about that when we get to Live and Die in L.A. But today's film is The Guardian. Ooh.
Yeah, and apparently, whenever he wrote his autobiography, Friedkin didn't mention two films at all in his autobiography, and this was one of them.
Yeah, this wasn't really well received. I remember seeing it in the theater. Me and my friend saw everything in the theater. Mm-hmm. And, it's a horror film, hour and a half, harmless enough. But like we always say, through the podcast eyes, does it still have that little nostalgic feel for myself, or does it kind of like, what the fuck was I thinking feel?
I remember whenever it was released, I was about 12, 13, and I used to buy Fear magazine, and there was a big feature on it, and they were making a big thing out of it, because it was basically Friedkin's first horror film since The Exorcist. It was quite a big thing. I remember Fear had a cover and stuff, with the tree, with faces and all on it and that sort of thing.
Yeah, it was 17 years until he did this, until he went back to horror. And he wasn't going to do it because he wasn't supposed to do it. As you probably all know, it was a Sam Raimi film. And who's ever seen The Guardian, it definitely has Sam Raimi's style in it. It reminds me a little bit of like Drag Me to Hell. And I think that's what they were trying to do originally. They were going for I don't like using the word slapstick, but Sam Raimi has that childish horror-esque quality to him. And like Drag Me to Hell and the Evil Dead films. So you can see that kind of being this is the direction they were going to go. But Sam Raimi had to leave production due to he was offered by the same production company, Universal, to do a wonderful film, and I'm glad he's done it, Darkman.
Darkman's great.
So they asked Friedkin to come on board. Friedkin, I believe, was under contract with Universal for another picture. So he just says, okay, I'll be a gun for hire. But being Friedkin the way he is, control freak, and again, it's his film now. He has the right to do so. So this is where the trouble might have laid.
Yeah.
So it was written, the original novel is called The Nanny, by Dan Greenberg. I don't know if that was a comedy or not. I have no idea about the book. I'm not here to judge it.
I haven't read it either.
But the screenplay was written by a man called Stephen Volk, who has some really nice street cred. He did a film in 1989 or 88 that I really liked called The Kiss with Joanne Bakula. You guys want to see a film that no one ever saw?
Stephen has a great CV overall.
He's got some pretty. He's really into goth horror.
Yeah.
He even did a film called Gothic.
Yes,
in the mid '80s. So if you want to see the film Joanne Bakula, The Kiss, 1988, it's quite gory. And I remember I dismembered scene that's pretty good. So if you like your gore, that 80s gore, that bad taste in all these films that were coming out, this kind of has that feel. And then he did one recently called The Awakening with Rebecca Hall. So he's kept active, but this film could have changed that.
Hey, Stephen Volk is also a great writer of prose as well, a very successful writer of prose. But I would say as well, in 1992, he wrote a TV sort of docudrama. Well, it was a spoof documentary called Ghost Watch for the BBC. It was hugely controversial at the time. It was basically primetime BBC, and it was basically well-known presenters like Mike Smith and stuff investigating if ghosts were real. It was all a complete setup, but it was so realistically done. It basically, the BBC were inundated with floods of complaints, and it was certainly a very, very memorable one back in the early 90s in the UK anyway. But that was written by Stephen Volk, so it was. And Stephen, I've met Stephen and we interviewed him for the magazine, and he spoke about his relationship, let's just say, with Friedkin on The Guardian, and it was tough going. According to Stephen in his interview about The Guardian, it was, and what he said basically, yes, like you say, Sam Raimi was originally on board as director, and they were going to go down the more Sam Raimi-esque comedy horror route. But then Friedkin came on board when Sam Raimi left, and Stephen says that obviously great director, but he's not a very funny guy known for his comedy. So the tone of the film then completely changed, and Friedkin then sort of asked for multiple rewrites of the script from Stephen Volk, and apparently it was not a pleasant experience for him. Let's just say, I mean, obviously I don't know, and I don't want to speak on behalf of Stephen Volk, but I'm just going by what I've read and the interview that was done with him for Phantasmagoria magazine.
Screenwriter's job is to write the script, and the rewrites are going to happen no matter what. At the end of the day, they don't own the property. It's going to be the studio and the director.
Yeah.
So, but I can understand frustration, because if you go from a Sam Raimi, balls of law comedy horror, which you can have fun doing, and then you got Friedkin come in, who's just the complete opposite of Sam
it's
Raimi's
night and day,
style.
In terms of tone. Yeah,
you're chalk and cheese. Is that what they say? Or
it's
gonna suck. And the one thing I can say, Friedkin is probably wasn't the kind of guy who would sit down and go, "I understand your concern, Stephen. Tell me more." He'd tell you, "Go fuck yourself. This is what we're doing. Change it."
Yeah, he sounds like a very, let's just say, he was perhaps a very headstrong sort of guy. Friedkin, certainly by not just what I've sort of heard about this film, but also The Exorcist as well. So yeah,
I'd love to get Mr. Volk on this podcast, because I would love him to just talk about his experience with working with Friedkin. I need to learn about Friedkin's style and are the rumors true? But also we never hear from a screenwriter's perspective.
Yes, exactly.
Of having to go through. You write something and you're proud of it, and then and you're all ready to go. You've got Sam Raimi on board, and then another big name director comes who's a control freak and just fucking guts it.
Yeah. But also it'd be great to hear from him just to, about the screenwriting process in general, and not just these experiences with Friedkin and Raimi, but also just general experiences with screenwriting and writing for television as well.
Well, the artistic process starts with them. So
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, maybe down the road that'd be kind of fun. That'd be a fun one.
Yeah.
All right, so we're here to talk to The Guardian. Nice small group of people. Jenny Seagrove plays Camilla. Dwyer Brown plays Phil. Carrie Lowell, the lovely Carrie Lowell, plays Kate. Brad Hall, the comedian, didn't really get that. Ned. And wasted cameo by the great late Miguel Ferrer, plays Ralph. Then you got Molly, Gale, and Alan. There we go. All set.
Yeah.
Now, here's what pisses me off. I'm going to read you something. This is what the opening... I'm sure... which I'm shocked, Trevor, you don't think this is the greatest film ever made.
Why?
I'll tell you why.
Because Miguel's in it from Twin Peaks?
yeah, fuck, I was waiting for that one. Nope, because of the prologue.
Yes.
There's a prologue that states, for thousands of years, a religious order known as the Druids worshipped trees.
Yeah, well,
Sometimes... No, let me finish, please.
Go ahead.
Sometimes even sacrificing human beings to them. To these worshippers, every tree has its guardian spirit. Most are aligned with goodness and life, but some embody powers of darkness and evil. What the fuck is with you people and trees?
It's
the witch,
I will explain.
The fucking Hereditary, fucking Wicker Man, I think it's a tree. I don't know what the fuck is going on, but it's the stupidest. And I will say this now. Of Over the Witch and Hereditary, at least this tree is creepy.
It kills people.
Yes, at least this tree does something.
It gets back. No, there is a historical context to all of this. Back to the whole sort of Druids and the pagan roots and stuff, where they would have worshipped trees and things like that. So it has its basis in real life history. If this film was released today, it would be known by the modern term folk horror. It is very much a folk horror, but I would say as well that for me personally, anyway, folk horror, every sort of country and every sort of society has their sort of folk horror, in quote marks, legends. However, for me personally, I think folk horror works best and I think this film would have worked best if it was set in Britain, in the UK, because it would have tied in more with the old folk legends, and with Stephen Volk, who wrote it, being British, he's Welsh. And again, I haven't read the original novel, so maybe it's in that as well, so I can't comment on that. But certainly, I believe this type of folk horror works better when it's set in the UK, not America. But there's definitely a real life historical context to all of that. If you go back to the Druids and the sort of, the pagan, the sort of those old religions and stuff. So yes, they would have worshipped trees and things like that. Thanks Stonehenge.
Here's the funny whole Halloween 3.
Yes, 100% Halloween 3 ties in with that completely.
So, here's what I don't fucking get. This movie got bad reviews, blah, blah. I'm going to tell you now, guys, it's not a terrible film.
Yeah.
It's late 80s, early 90s horror film. And in the 80s, you're getting bombarded with direct-to-video horror films that were horrible. And this... as we can say, we always say competency behind the lens. You do. You got to, and the screenwriter I got to give credit for, because here's a guy who wrote something that was supposed to be into a completely different subgenre, and he's been asked to tweak it, and you know what? It still works. So a lot of pressure that was given to him, and for Friedkin having to come in to change the direction it was supposed to go. It's not bad. I think it kind of gets a kind of a bum rap.
Yeah.
So, but I'm not saying it's, we'll dive into it. But my point is, if this fucking film came out today, I won't mention names, but he's on the podcast with me now. Would say this is
his name rhymes with Kever Renity.
Yeah. He'd say this is a fucking epic. Because this is the exact same shit that we're getting from you fucking elevated horror fans.
Don't say that word. Don't fucking say that phrase. Elevated horror. I am a horror. I'm a horror fan, not neither a fan of.
Well, that is geared toward the people. You know what I'm talking about.
I know
who
what you're
think
saying.
all these films with fucking trees are fucking, oh my God, this is so... Well, this is the exact same thing. And I'll tell you what.
Yes, it's folk
This
horror.
is better executed than the most of them. Now, the acting, Hereditary and The Witch, all have better acting, don't get me wrong. But this has a good beginning, middle, end, and you're done. You walk away from it.
Yeah. Yeah, but it is folk horror. I don't like that phrase, elevated horror. That's like,
I'm gonna
don't go there. Don't fucking go there.
I am, because people all love it. So I'm going to come after you.
No, I like certain films that have been sort of termed as elevated
fucking
horror.
love anything
like Hereditary.
with trees.
Like, yeah, fucking creepy trees. Fucking if you want to blame me, my love of creepy trees, then, blame Evil Dead.
You fucking have a hard on for fucking Return of the Jedi because of fucking Ewok
Andor.
Land. Yeah, Andor. You even know the fucking name.
Yeah, well, it's a moon.
You're probably like, oh my God, look at that tree.
Yeah.
Oh my God, it's beautiful.
Blame the Evil Dead. That started me. Oh, that's sort of the creepy tree thing.
God. When's the tree gonna rape the Ewok?
What fuck? That's not a nice thought.
I know. Well, we're going PG there, so I had to jump into an R real quick for this podcast.
Yeah.
All right, so this is funny. I'm going to go on a rant here for about just a minute or two.
Go ahead.
All right, so we meet. Is it the Sheridans? The Sheridans.
Yeah,
they're the opening
at the beginning. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. There's the Sterlings and the Sheridans. They should never do that in movies. Mm-hmm. They should never have similar kind of style names. They should always change it up because. You got to go, who's the Sheridans? No, they're the Sterlings. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Okay.
With different names, but whatever.
You got the fucking Sheridans. They got the stupid baby kid. And the fucking nanny takes the baby, throws it into a fucking tree, and then the baby turns into part of the tree.
Yes.
Kind of creepy, actually. I'm going to give it credit here. It's very... It felt like... It almost had a Dark Crystal feel.
Weird, yeah. It's a dark fantasy, yeah.
Yeah. And then you see a nanny who's what is it? Who's in the shadows?
Yes.
Scene where he's in the shadows, and then the dumb baby.
She says like a prayer type thing.
She says like a prayer. Oh yes, and she goes. They go to get some dinner. They have to come back, right?
For her glasses, yes.
For her glasses.
The mother has left her glasses behind,
and they come back, and the baby's gone.
Yep.
And then, because the nanny sacrifices the baby. So far, the Sheridans go to eat something. They come back at the last second. The nanny has taken the baby and chucked the baby into the tree, and it becomes a bark baby.
Yes, yes.
So, here we go. 3 months later, I have a point. I have a method of my madness. So that whole opening scene's done.
Yes.
3 months later, we meet Phil. Phil is a marketing ad exec guy.
Yeah.
And he goes to meet his new potential employer, Ralph, played by wasted Miguel Ferrer, I believe it's called Ferrer.
Of Twin Peaks.
Of RoboCop. He gets hired. Then they decide, we got to move to LA because I took this new job. Then they meet the dork, Ned. He's the one who designed all the houses in the area. They decide to have sex in front of the fireplace at their house for the first time. She gets pregnant. Okay?
Yep.
Now she gives birth. So it's about 9 months, or 12 months later, actually.
No, 9 months?
Only 9 months later, but 12 months from the opening scene.
We're talking basic science here, Ciaran, yes.
So we get the birth scene, which in Friedkin style is a real birth, by the way.
Yes.
I wanted to puke. You should never show birth. I think that's wrong. I still believe in the stork.
Why, are you trying to tell me that's not the way it is?
So after she gives birth, they need a nanny. So they call the Guardian Angel Agency. And there's this whole process of interviews, you know? Kind of like when they're interviewing trying to get Mrs. Doubtfire.
Yeah.
All right? So you have all these different interviews. And then we meet Camilla, the tree witch, but she doesn't get hired. They decide to go with Arlene. But all of a sudden, Arlene is in a really weird, quick bike accident, and she's thrown
Her head's busted open.
Yeah, her head's busted open, and she lands on a cactus or something.
Yep.
I don't know. So, this is what's happened. Ready?
Yes.
We have the Sheridan's baby's taken and chucked into the tree by the evil nanny. I can't remember their fucking last name again. What the fuck? See what I'm saying? You got the Sheridans, and then you got the
Sterlings.
The Sterlings. There you go. The Sterlings. They have to. He gets an interview. He gets the job. They move to L.A. She gets pregnant, gives birth, has to hire a nanny, and boom. That's where we're at right now.
Yes.
Guys, that was 19 minutes long. In any other film, that would be longer than 19 minutes.
Yeah, absolutely, it would.
I mean, I have never seen something so fucking rushed in my life. It kind of works, to be honest with you, but I promise you, when you in the 90s, Miguel Ferrer from RoboCop would have had a bigger part. Something went wrong. Something went choppy. His character probably would have got killed. There would have been more meat on the bone here.
Apparently, there is an extended edit of this film.
There has to be.
Yeah, there is apparently.
There's
I haven't seen it, but I've only seen this one this cut that we're talking about now.
Yeah, I can't find it anywhere. I don't. Well, we might see it. Sadly, because of Friedkin's passing, he might get director's cuts that he never wanted people to see.
Yeah, well, this is it, like with Kubrick and A Clockwork Orange, yeah.
Yeah, so they have to hire Camilla because the other one died. What happened to her? It was so stupid.
Mysterious circumstances.
Yeah, she hit a pothole. Where's the mysterious circumstances on that?
Well,
it would have been better if she kills her.
Yeah, it would have been more effective.
Yeah, like a pothole. Okay. So was that deliberate then? And she falls on a cactus.
I don't know. I think it's just the way they decided to bump her off. But yes, if we had had like the sort of original nanny who was supposed to take the job, the younger girl, I don't know, be like grabbed by a set of hands or something, that were owned by Camilla, but we don't see Camilla's face yet, type thing that might have maybe worked better.
You get these nanny films, or nanny-esque films that were coming out. There's one a couple years before after this was actually quite good. Curtis Hanson directed called The Hand That Rocks the Cradle.
I was just going to say that apparently Jenny Seagrove wanted this to be more in that style of film, like the Omen type thing, and she was told no by Universal. Then a couple of years later, The Hand That Rocks the Cradle came out, and she said, I fucking told you so, Yeah. It was a huge success, The Hand That Rocks the Cradle.
It's a good little film, actually.
Haven't seen it in years.
Yeah, I mean, it has like the cliches where the husband, and it's weird because there's always these little earthquakes, and so he goes to check on the baby, and the baby's in the bath with Camilla, which Jenny Seagrove's must just be called. We're just going to call her Naked Lady,
naked witchy sort of evil lady. Yeah.
Hey, you know what though?
Seductress. Yeah.
I want to thank Friedkin for this. For giving us a naked, beautiful woman. And that sounds perverted. But for all the films that Trevor loves, because he loves naked old people. This is a breath of fresh air than what we get now. This, folk horror that's coming out lately. It's a refreshing killer tree that does something.
A sexy nanny, you mean, instead of
a sexy naked person, rather than old asses in a stump. So thank you, Friedkin, and thank you, Volk, even though you didn't want to do it.
Well, I would say as well that a lot of the naked scenes, they aren't even in a sexual context. They're more just because she's a witchy woman.
That's okay, Glenn Fry. Nobody will get that reference, I don't think. I didn't. Witchy woman.
Yes, the song.
Yeah, witchy woman. It's witchy woman, isn't it?
I'm not too sure.
Is it Wichita woman? Oh, fuck it, I don't care.
Oh, I don't know.
All right.
Cliff Richard did Devil Woman, so we could maybe go with that.
No, it gotta be witchy.
Right.
But yeah,
Just
so
it's
like
woman.
When he walks in on her and he stares at her and he goes, and it takes him 10 minutes to leave. Oh, I'm so sorry, I didn't see you there.
yeah. Oh yeah, and he's still standing there about 10 minutes. Sorry, I didn't see you there. You were.
He's got the paper towels out.
Yeah.
And then he takes the baby, and she gets out of the bath to dry, and she pauses. She's in like this pose, and
Yes.
she turns and she sees him staring, and he turns away. It's like, fuck me, this is stupid. Fuck off.
It's
And no offense, Carrie Lowell is gorgeous. I mean,
Yeah.
Carrie Lowell. I mean, if the wife wasn't, well, I can't go. That'd be rude. But Carrie Lowell is, come on, you got Carrie Lowell as your wife. I mean,
she was Bond girl,
she was a Bond girl before this, yeah.
Living Daylights,
No, she wasn't. License to Kill.
License to Kill. Yes, you're right.
Oh God, Trevor,
Schoolboy Error.
you embarrassed us. You embarrassed us.
Schoolboy Error. I was only seeing it. I knew it was that. I was only seeing if you caught on.
Oh, fuck off.
I was just checking.
Oh boy, I don't know. You know what's funny is, there's a scene where she's taking some time off. She's taking the night off, and she tells
Go
Kate.
shopping or something.
She tells Kate, "Yeah, I'm like, what's she doing?" Ned, the guy who's perving on her,
Yes.
go. No, wait, this isn't there yet. We're not there yet. No, before she goes shopping, which is, we'll talk about that. There's a scene where I don't know. I mean, I like the deaths, but don't put the deaths in there and give us a bad reason why you have the deaths. So you got Camilla, and she's having a little picnic with the baby.
Yeah.
And these three trailer trash show up.
The rapist, the potential rapist guys.
Yeah, I'm gonna rape you. I'm like, where are we at here?
Yeah. It's and they're very pantomime villain. It's almost like as soon as they appear, they might as well just come out and say, "We're evil." You know what I mean? We're badasses. They're even drinking beer, and it's very, very cliched, and it's very sort of like they're drinking beer, and they're just downright bad guys, and you just know fine rightly they're gonna get fucking their comeuppance big time.
Yeah, so it's like.
It's to set the babysitter up as a threat.
I know, but it would have been better if Camilla walked into something, like a crime or another murder, like they killed a friend or something, and she's a witness. That would have been better than these three guys just harassing her.
I think the problem is the scene could have worked, but what lets it down is, I have to say it, Friedkin's direction and also the acting by the three actors.
Yeah. I don't, like you said, I don't know what was in the original script or not, but this, I don't mind it being there.
Yes.
But the reason they're there should have been changed.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I think if it had been better played out, it would have worked a lot better, and it was more. He actually took the threat of the three men more serious, but they're very sort of it's pantomime villain type.
Yeah, which
it's
is
down to
funny,
the performances
because
mostly.
Well, what weird is you got these kind of bad actors.
Yeah.
And what they're about to do to her is pretty graphic. They're going to rape her, and they gut her pretty good.
Yep.
They cut her. But finally, a tree does something. And I love when he just rips a box of the guy's head off. And then the other guy gets just pretty much smothered. And then the other guy gets
stomp up him.
Yeah, so the deaths work.
I like the touch with whenever she is cut, that her blood actually brings the tree. There's like a connection between her blood and the tree, so that's what sort of springs the tree into action. And they're pretty violent and gruesome deaths, which I liked.
Well, here's what I don't get then. So the next scene, there's a dinner party, and she's serving, right? Because the nanny's the cook too, I suppose, right?
Oh, she's everything.
And then Ned hits on her.
Yes.
And she's got this big gaping wound, the knife wound. It's gaping.
Yeah.
And Ned's like, "Oh, you should go to a doctor." I'm like, "This is." He would actually go, "Guys, we need to come in here. We need to get her to the hospital." But I don't think he actually sees it.
No, he doesn't see it. She has it covered up.
So what I don't, and then she goes to the tree. When Ned sees her, she goes to the tree.
Yes.
And gets all fixed.
Yeah.
Why did she just do that then?
Well, I don't know. Maybe it was just the process of how long it. Even though the tree can't heal, it's maybe it was such a bad wound that it took time.
Can't she put some like sap and bark on it?
Baby bark. I don't know. I mean, yeah, but obviously the tree has sort of healing properties, especially with her, because it's heavily suggested that she's very much connected to the tree, but also because it's her blood that sort of springs it into action. In fact, she's pretty much very much a part of the tree. They're almost like one and the same. Entity. She's just like very much the sort of the twin of the tree, maybe even the tree itself. But
fucking trees, man, fucking trees.
Yeah, well,
fucking trees.
I think it was just because it was such a deep wound on her stomach that it just took a bit of time, and also it works for the plot.
Christ, I could be what do you call it? I could be a dendrologist because of all these fucking movies.
A tree man. Yeah.
Jesus. Fucking lumberjacks in the lighthouse. Bad floating headless people and naked old people and stumps in Hereditary. Fucking hell. But yeah, so I do like the Ned scene, and I think the direction's fun with this one. People think it might be a little long, but I think it works because it's creepy and the whole it's very atmospheric when he follows her because he's a stalker at this point. And Kate goes, "Oh, she just left. She's going window shopping with nice dressing heels at like midnight
in the middle of the night in a field in a forest
in L.A. Where the fuck are you going?"
Yeah.
So he follows.
I think she might have been just nipping down to her local sort of newsagents for a pot noodle or something.
Oh yeah, yeah. So Ned sees her doing the whole fucking. She becomes the bark.
Yeah.
She becomes the tree, and the
coyotes appear.
The surgical branches.
Yes, yeah. Take her head off.
Actually, I didn't mind it. You thought that would be the stupidest thing. The tree's the best part, which is, and some cool looking effects.
I'm very sort of gruesome deaths as well for some of the characters.
Yeah.
I like the coyotes, I have to say.
Yeah, so the coyotes come out, and they're well managed, too.
Yeah.
I thought they were wolves.
So did I. Yeah.
So when Ned gets back to his place after running, which I don't know why he just didn't take a car and leave, but he gets back to his place, and there's nice little moments with him trying to call the police and getting cut off. And
I thought he was a pretty annoying character, but I did feel sorry for him.
You did.
It's well acted by the guy who plays Ned. He's a comedian, Brad something. I think
Brad Bird, yeah, Brad Hall. He was on a skit show called Saturday Night Live for years.
Yeah, I know Saturday Night Live. Yeah, right. I didn't know he was a member of the team, and I know it's changed over the years. It's long running, but I know he's a writer also. But he performs this scene very well, and you really do. Although the character is a bit mildly stalkerish beforehand, you do feel sorry for him.
Yeah, he's just a dork.
Yeah,
but yeah. You first you're like, God, this guy's an idiot, and then when he does get it, you're like, oh man, I kind of feel bad for him. So he's clearly done his job acting wise.
Yeah, unlike the badasses from before.
Yeah, so that's why it kind of throws me off.
Yes,
with inconsistency.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, when he finally gets it with the wolves, pretty brutal. You see his hand.
Coyotes.
The coyotes. They fucking just devour them. And there's lots of blood.
Yep.
I like my blood. You give me some blood, I'm happy. But what works about the film as well, and not only its pacing, it doesn't take 40 minutes for Phil or Kate to catch on to what's happening.
Yes, and films like this, the main character can be pretty stupid, in that all the signs are there for them to realise that, I don't know, it's a babysitter from hell. But usually in films like this, like The Omen, for example, it takes basically right to the final act almost. But for them to work out that their son's Satan. But with this, they do work it out quite quickly.
Yeah, and I think it helps that before Ned's death, he gets that voicemail in.
Yes.
Now here's what I don't get. Camilla heard that voicemail before Phil did.
Yeah.
Why didn't she just delete it?
I thought she was going to, and I was surprised that she didn't. Yeah. I don't know. Maybe it's because she's a tree woman and she's not really tech savvy. You know what I mean? She's used to, I don't know, smoke signals or something, or whatever people in forests do back in the day. You know?
Fucking hell.
Maybe she tried to, but she just couldn't work it out.
I want to see that scene.
Yeah, losing her temper. Go fucking stupid fucking voice recorder.
Yeah, so when there's a death, all the evidence disappears.
Yes.
I thought that was kind of lazy.
There's a particular scene where she makes the blood disappear from the phone and stuff, which is a bit corny.
Yeah, I saw.
Yeah.
And then Molly Sheridan, the mother from the beginning,
Yes.
contacts Phil.
Yeah.
No,
she does?
no. She called, yes, and tells her, "You need to wake up, smell your ass," because the bitch
Well, that was
is
another
crazy.
voicemail that Jenny Seagrove should have deleted.
Yeah, what's going on here? Come on here, Camilla.
Yeah.
You're not very good witch demon.
Yeah. Well,
I
she's good witch
guarantee you-
demon. She's just not good with technology.
I guarantee you,
which makes sense, actually.
I guarantee you, like the witch trees or the witch tree people are like, "You dumb idiot! You could have fucking deleted the message." I'd love to see that scene.
Yeah.
You got this bark people going, "What the fuck? You couldn't delete the message?"
Schoolgirl error.
Oh my god,
Camilla.
Yeah, so he goes to see her, and then she kind of tells her. I got confused here because she was hired by Guardian Angel, but Camilla's never came from Guardian Angel, and all of her. Did she?
She pretended she was from. My take on it is that she wasn't actually from the Guardian Angel babysitting service, but she pretended
confused.
she was.
Yeah. So and the only thing he decides to follow up with this because the kid says she has a birthmark on her stomach, and he saw her naked in the bathtub. So
he also dreamt about her as well.
Yeah. So the love scene thing.
So actually, whenever you think about it, that actually, now that you just mention it, that actually makes the bathtub scene actually make, there's a real point to it then. It comes into play later on. Yeah.
Yeah, there's a little
it's good writing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
Yeah, just the way it's executed. So maybe the direction was the issue. I just can't stand those movies where a girl is slowly out of the bathtub and she's slowly drying her legs and her ass is hanging out and the guy's just staring at her and at 10 minutes later he looks away like.
Well, we're talking about Ned being a stalker, but yeah. But I know what you mean. Yeah,
but it could be.
But it does make sense later on because that's where he then seen the mark that the kid refers to.
No, he saw the mark when he dreamed about her.
Yeah, but he would have saw it in the bathtub as well, possibly.
I think that I don't know. I think it's her aura,
her tree aura,
or you could say okra.
Yeah,
that's a bad one. No, yeah. I just think she was just manipulating him. So he was.
Oh, she was attempting to manipulate him.
Attempting, but it backfires.
Yes.
Yeah. So I got confused, but and there is a funny scene where they go. I think it was the cop or something says to them when they go to the police, did you check their resume of their past employers?
Yeah,
the
references and stuff.
We never called. Well, that's kind of important. So I'm assuming they thought the Guardian Angel would have done that for them.
I think they were just so impressed with her, although they weren't that impressed with her because they hired the other girl,
Arlene.
Arlene, yeah. So, they didn't check the references, which is, it's a bit of a stupid one. Yeah.
Well, finally, he decides he's going to fire her because he also hears the voicemail.
Yes.
And so, I guess he doesn't realize he's barking up the wrong tree.
Oh, boom, boom.
Yeah. I was waiting 40 minutes, people. 40 minutes talking about this film. I finally got it out.
Ciaran is branching out in the comedy. Get it?
God. Leave me alone.
Oh, dear.
Yeah. Wow,
doing this podcast here with Trevor.
Oh, my God.
Oh, these are getting Mercy's puns. We're scraping the bottom of the barrel. Or the bark.
The film we talked about, folk horror, it plays a lot like, because they do mention where Camilla in the beginning of the film with the Sheridans, she's telling the story of Hansel and Gretel.
Yes.
And I think the reason they did that, the stupid witch lives in a tree, go figure.
Yes, of course.
But also, this does play more like a grim fairy tale.
Yeah, a dark fairy tale. Yeah.
So
definitely.
I caught on to that in this viewing. And again, I'm not saying it's a masterpiece, but I'm with it. It's not boring. So the baby goes into hibernation sleep mode,
Yes.
and they bring it to the hospital.
Yeah.
And so Camilla just walks in there and grabs it.
Yes.
That's pretty ballsy. Give her that.
Yeah. Oh no. She's determined. You know, I have to say as well, Camilla has her motivations too. She's not just an evil witch and, you know, like a cardboard cutout evil witch. In her belief and, you know, all this, you know, to do with the tree and the magic and the earth and all that sort of thing. She believes that she's actually saving the baby and that the baby is going to become immortal and live forever through the tree. You know, so she, you know, it's well written in terms of her motivations and as a villain, if you know what I mean.
There's
and again, it goes back to the real life sort of druids and the paganism.
Why didn't Phil or Kate call the police or security for that matter?
Well, they did. The police do become involved.
No, they don't. That's not when after the baby's taken.
Yeah. Well, after the baby's taken, yeah, you'd think their first protocol might have been to phone the cops. But yeah. Yeah, fair enough. Yeah.
Oh boy!
And do you notice who's playing the cop later on?
I can't remember.
It's a guy from. He's also in Candyman.
Oh, Tony Todd.
No, it's not Tony Todd. It's his name escapes me at the moment too, and I've just said, do you know who that is?
You have our audience really upset now.
Yeah,
they're all excited. Who plays the cop number 2 in The Guardian?
No, he's the boyfriend, the sleazy boyfriend, of Virginia Madsen's character in Candyman. Oh, what is it you call him? Give me a second.
No, I don't worry. I don't think anyone cares.
I care. You know what I mean?
Oh my god.
Yeah. Give me a second. I will look it up. We just have to get my sort of internet browser up here. But anyway, sorry. Go ahead. Speak away.
Yeah,
I'll get this in the meantime.
They separate. They go look for the baby. So
yeah.
Kate goes to the house. He runs into the forest.
Mm-hmm.
And then nothing's there. There's a bunch of wolves seen with Kate. Kind of, yeah.
Sorry. Sorry. Coyotes.
Oh, yeah. Coyotes. And she jumps in the Jeep and fucking goes to the tree. Don't know how she found the tree, but she found it.
Yeah.
And she crashes into it, and blood from the tree. She's like, ah! But she's there looking for Phil and the baby.
Yeah.
She's kind of... There's a nice shot where Phil is running toward the tree.
Yeah.
As Kate's still at the house.
Yeah.
And you figure it'd be stupid and funny, but it works with her floating behind him.
No, that's very creepy. Her floating. So it is.
Yeah, it's kind of creepy. Not like Hereditary, which looks like fucking thing on wires. So stupid.
Her floating is creepy and very well realized. Yeah,
I think it works well, and they got that, and they use the fog machine well here in this movie. They don't overdo it like some films do. You can't see the actors. Gotta put more fog. Gotta use more fog.
Yeah.
But so this is where they go to the police.
Yes. Xander Berkeley is the name of the actor who plays the policeman.
Oh, Xander Berkeley. Yeah. I know him from 24. He's been.
Oh, he's in the X-Files and he's
Terminator 2.
Yeah, he's in loads of things. Yeah, doesn't he play John Connor's stepdad in Terminator 2?
Yep.
Yeah.
While he's drinking the milk.
Yes, that's right. And he gets the T-1000 sort of basically cuts him through the throat pokes him through the throat with his razor fingers. Yeah.
So they never get the baby back because the baby is now in the tree.
No. She has the baby.
No. I'm sorry. I'm getting confused with the opening scene. Sorry. Yeah. The old baby. The opening scene baby is in there.
Yes.
Okay, got it.
Their baby's generally fine, but Camilla's still after it.
Now, the cop does offer reasonable. I mean, again, it's not like they're laughing at them.
Yeah.
They got their baby back. Everything's fine. He's not making jokes of them. He actually goes, listen, why don't you I'm more comfortable if you get a hotel room and I'll get a cop.
Yeah. He seems more concerned about them.
Yeah, and then why don't we get a psychologist in the morning?
He's not the sort of...
That is actually legitimate something a cop
Yeah,
would say.
yeah, 100%.
Usually in films, they'll go, ha, ha,
Yeah,
ha.
yeah. In most
they'll
films,
laugh
it would
at
be like the cop would be, "Get the hell out of here," and you know what I mean? "You crazy bastards," or something like that. Yeah, yeah,
So they decide, nah, we're just going to go home.
yeah.
That makes sense.
Yeah. Because where's the first?
Because
Yeah.
I think they assume Camilla's dead because she ran
Yes,
her
that's exactly what it is. Yeah.
against the tree.
But then he
but
decides
cops
to
have
go
this-
out and with a chainsaw. Very some Evil Deadish. He decides to go out with the chainsaw to destroy the tree.
Yeah, he goes insane almost, and he's laughing when he's cutting it up, blood everywhere. Very Ash.
Yeah.
This is very Sam Raimi-ish. But it works.
And maybe this is maybe this is one of the fragments of the original sort of intentions for this film whenever Sam Raimi was on board. I don't know. Yeah.
Because it does have that Drag Me to Hell, Evil Dead
Yeah.
feel. But he's cutting it up, and it's pretty gory.
Yes.
And so as he's cutting it up, we got Camilla going after Kate and the baby.
Yes.
But it's a great scene. There's a great shot where Kate's by herself, and you don't see her, but she's in the corner,
Yeah.
Camilla, and she's kind of camouflaged because she's kind of like half bark.
Which is full tree woman now. Yeah.
Yeah, she's kind of like a tree woman. And you don't really see her right away. It's a nice little shot.
Yeah.
And then as he's cutting up the tree, she's losing parts and getting cut and stuff.
Yeah, I really like the part where basically he's cutting up the tree, and then her leg flies off and stuff. You know, it's well done,
it's
very
just-
well done.
Yeah, just ripping her to shreds.
Yeah.
And yeah, so she's and then as she's dying, she begins to rot.
Yeah,
And then obviously she flies through the glass, the pane glass, and that's it. We don't see I'm not surprised we didn't get an after shot.
I like a final stir type thing.
Yeah, I think it'd be kind of cool if the ground absorbed her or something.
Yeah, back into the earth.
you know.
Yeah,
Yeah, back into the earth, because we never really see an outcome. We know she's dead at this point.
yeah,
But yeah, there you have it.
yep, yeah. Yeah, I mean, I think there's obvious problems that are well documented anyway. With this film, but there is some good stuff in there too.
Yeah, it's not a bad little film. I think the problem is the reason it's got kind of poor reviews is because I think they expect more from William Friedkin.
They were expecting another Exorcist.
Yeah, they wanted Exorcist hard R, and this is a happy medium between what Sam Raimi's vision wanted to be and
There's editing problems as well.
Yeah, what William Friedkin wanted to do. So
Poor Stephen Vogt was caught in the middle.
Yeah, so you've got comedy and then you've got horror, and Friedkin tried to make it his own by blending it, and that's where like the hillbillies come in, which really doesn't work. I think the Ned character was supposed to. That's why you bring Brad Hall in. He's a comedic actor. You kind of bring him in to play like the slapstick goof.
Yeah.
Kind of didn't work, even though you did kind of feel sorry for him when he gets
Yes.
it. But the characters are all right. The acting was spot on. These are new up and comers, and they seem to do their job all right. Like I said, there's some wasted moments. Like there's editing room issues without you don't have Miguel Ferrer in there, and nothing. He's in like 30 seconds.
Yeah, 2 or 3 scenes. Yeah.
If that. And so, yeah, there's some in it, but guys, it's an hour and a half. It's a decent little watch. This is much better than The Fucking Witch. Sorry. I know you.
We'll not go there in that route, but yeah.
We're not here to argue those. But I'm sorry, it is. It's entertaining. It's fun. It's gory. I'm not going, oh my God, you got to see The Guardian. But at the end of the day, you got 2 incredibly talented directors behind this film that were going to do, well, one was going to do it, but it got a, better choice to do Darkman. And then you got Friedkin who's like, I'll do this. So there's something there, and they pulled off what they can.
Yeah.
And so I give it a little credit there. So if you see it, and you're available to rent, or you can get a copy for a couple quid, get it. It's worth it. Not bad.
I would, in general terms, agree with that. I mean, there's editing issues, directorial issues, I would have to say as well, with Friedkin, surprisingly. But I don't think his heart was in it. I think it was you pointed out to me before, I haven't addressed it in this podcast, that he was contracted to do another film for Universal. It sounds like his heart wasn't 100% in it, Friedkin. So yes, there are issues and problems, but there is some enjoyable horror moments, the coyotes, the gore and the blood and stuff. So yeah.
So we're gonna wrap this one up. Next up, we'll be talking about To Live and Die in L.A. I remember seeing it. I remember the twist, which was phenomenal. I remember Willem Dafoe being fucking awesome.
Yeah, he says.
I remember Wang Chung. What an awesome soundtrack. So I'm looking forward to revisiting that one. All right, so thanks for giving us a shout this one, or listen, sorry. And feel free to reach out to us at CitizenFrame _podcast on Instagram, and of course on Facebook. Trevor's new novel is out. He's telling everybody. What a snob.
Yes, it's a collection of my short stories. It's Bad Dreams and Reflections, which is out throughout the world from Amazon. It's available, and other select stores, including the likes of Terror Trader, and there will be more to follow.
There you go. Just give that a purchase. That way he can give us the money from the book, and we can get better equipment to entertain you all.
Yeah.
Okay, that's a contract. That's a verbal contract.
Well,
right
you know what I mean.
No. You can't change it. No takesy backs.
Watch this space. You know.
All right, guys, we're out of here. Take care of yourselves. Have a good one.